Hi everyone, I wanted to give you a quick video to show you how I might deal with Writing Center or Writing Tutor comments and how I would revise a paper based on those comments before I would submit for peer review. So let me share my screen. Okay, so here is my draft as of Wednesday afternoon. So this was the second day of drafting this week. And this is where I ended up with my words at 1711. So a couple of things that I want you to see. This is something that I showed you all in class, that my introduction was not really matching with where my paper ended up going. So I have my new introduction here. But I asked a friend of mine who is a teacher at YC, but who also has a lot of experience with running a writing center and working with writing tutors, to act as a writing tutor for me and to put some comments into my draft. So here are, you can see on the side, and remember that this draft is linked in week 5 under the writing tab. So he's got some comments here. So MLA format suggestions, remember to add page numbers. So that's a good suggestion. So that's up here in the header. So if I just insert, let's see, how would I do this? Headers and footers, I want to insert a header. I want it to be aligned this way, and I want it to say Palmer. And then let's see if I can insert a page number. We'll just do it like that. Okay, so in Word, it should be pretty similar. You just double click to get to the header, make sure it's on the right. I don't think I need a comma here, but anyways, there you go. Okay, and obviously you wouldn't have this there. I just put that there for you guys to see. Okay, so let's see. After English 102, you should include either the name of the course or the name of the assignment. So I have the name of the course. I don't think I would add more than that, but I guess you could add the name of the assignment. So that would be poetry draft. And then he's saying to write out the date. So I don't really care about that, but I might as well do it correctly. Okay. So draft, yeah, he's absolutely right. I want to add a unique title. So maybe I would call this, let's see. I'm going to just borrow from this quote that I used here. Dickinson's I'm just going to call it that for now. Let's see. What else did he say? This is a rather complex sentence and contains a comma splice. Okay, so maybe what I'll do here is I'll say, it is a complex sentence. I don't think that it's actually a comma splice, because this is, she was quite showing that this is the actual sentence. She became known as a recluse. That's the sentence. All of the rest are just add-ons. So it's actually not a comma splice. And I like it, so I'm just going to leave that. Yeah, I'm not going to. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I can get that. Yeah, so here he says there's 2 complete thoughts. So maybe that would be easy enough to do, to separate that into 2 separate sentences. So does not, he's wanting me to go a little bit more formal here. Same with did not. So what he's saying here is, in some of my things, I use the abbreviation for quoted, QTD, and in other ones I use the full word. So I just need to decide. Yep, that's a good correction. Far greater. So most of these things that he's telling me here are grammar and editing things. So those things I would change. So this is typically what you're going to get if you are just submitting your paper to the writing tutor. So notice that he's giving me typical writing tutor comments, which are not so much about the content and revising, they're more about editing and formatting. So if you want to make sure that you're getting the feedback about what you can revise, how to make your paper better, like how to make sure your points are clear and your quotes actually support what you're saying, those are the kinds of questions that you can ask a writing tutor live. And that way you can get that good feedback. So if you are pretty confident with the way your paper looks, and you tend to get A's, maybe high B's on your papers, like in English 101, you got A's or high B's through the semester, then maybe submitting to the writing tutor is just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the share. But if you are normally getting C's or low B's or even lower on your papers, if you are struggling with getting things in on time, then you really need to see those tutors live, because you need to get that feedback from them about, are your quotes making sense? Are things lining up? Are you supporting your argument? So that you can ask the questions and get their help right then. Okay, so I just want to encourage you, if your draft is not quite done, then don't submit it to the tutor yet. Don't do this. This is not just a submit to check off a box. If you're not submitting a complete draft, you're not going to get good feedback, number one. If you're just submitting to the writing tutor because it's easy, then you're missing out on important feedback that can help you make your paper better, which will overall help you become a better writer. So make sure that you choose the method that's going to help you the most, even if it is a little uncomfortable. So it's much better, much better to visit a tutor live, either on Zoom or in person, than it is to just submit your paper and then wait for the email to come in. Also, I want to remind you that if you don't submit your paper using your YC email address, you will never get a response from them. They are not allowed to send any responses about papers to any email address other than your YC email. So make sure that if you submit to the writing tutor, you use your YC email so that you can actually get that feedback. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. If I were actually submitting this paper to peer review, I would make the changes that were suggested by the tutor that I agree with, and then I would submit my paper to peer review. If I had any other questions about the paper, or maybe something I was missing, maybe I'm short on my page, my word count, anything like that, when you submit your paper for peer review, you want to make sure you add those things in. So I would say something like, hey guys, here's my draft. Here's what I'm struggling with. Can you make sure to comment on this, so that your peers know specifically what to look for, okay? All right, well, you guys have a good weekend. Work on your paper. Remember, they are due on Thursday next week. And then the week after, we're gonna start a whole new paper. So we wanna make sure that you get stuff in on time. If you are not on track with this assignment, you need to get back on track, use the extra day on Monday. Don't waste your time. Don't frivol away, fritter away your weekend, because you've got a long weekend if you are behind in this class, because it's not going to serve you well. Getting half points on everything, you're not going to pass if you're getting 50% on everything. So make sure you get stuff in, okay? Reach out to the writing tutors if you need help. If you have tech support, you can find that on the YC website. Just look up TELS. You can do a search for TELS. And you can get a live number that you can call and get help if you're having trouble submitting things or need any kind of tech support. Okay, I'll see you guys on Wednesday.